Hey everybody, happy Sunday evening to you all. Welcome to the Sky's Limit Aviation channel. My name is Michael. Thank you for joining me tonight for a Sunday evening live stream. We are Delta 1346 Heavy 767 service from Miami up to my second home in Detroit. It would be Detroit Wayne Metro. Should be a relatively quick flight, probably about 2 hours, flight level 360, and we're in the 767-332ER for Delta Airlines. Glad to have you aboard tonight. Not going to have much in the way of live ATC or anything like that on VATSIM unless somebody happens to come online during the flight. It's been kind of a quiet afternoon on the VATSIM network, but we'll try to make it enjoyable anyways. So we're at the gate. Passengers' baggage are all loaded. The jet bridge has already been retracted. We're about ready to do our pre-start checklists. And then we'll go ahead and push back, start, and we're departing off of runway 8 right. And it's going to be the Alton 1 RNAV departure. Heading straight north from Miami up into the Detroit area, and it's going to be the Clink 3 RNAV arrival, and we should be expecting runway 4 right for the arrival there, and then we'll park over at McNamara once we're on the ground. So strap in, welcome aboard, and thanks for flying Delta. Let's go ahead and get started with our checklist here in just a quick second. Okay, pre-start checklist. Parking brake is set. Throttles are at idle. Landing gear lever is checked down. Flaps are up. Spoilers are retracted. Fuel quantity is checked. Fuel pumps are off. Battery master switch is on. We've already started the APU and have the APU generator running. No panel lights required. No smoking. Fasten seatbelt lights are on. PTOT heat is off. Wing engine anti-ice off. Hydraulic pumps are on. And beacon lights are on. Pre-start checklist is complete. And we've already got everything plugged into the FMS. For the Alton 1 RNAV departure, we do have one restriction, and that is 5,000 feet at Agers, and then after that, no altitude restrictions, and we'll climb up to 36,000 feet, flight level 360 for the flight up to this afternoon. So go ahead and get ready to do our pushback. And we're going to be pushing out, and our tail is going to be pointing to the east. So pushback checklist, parking brake off. So everybody had a really good weekend. We had a great weekend with family yesterday. A couple of baseball games that our nephews are participating in. And then we watched the Georgia Bulldogs annihilate University of Alabama at Birmingham last night over at my brother-in-law's house. A good time was had by all and a great game. UGA now 4-0 for the season in the SEC. Yeah, we'll go ahead and stop the pushback right here. Parking brake is set. Engine start up checklist. Parking brake is on. Thrust levers idle. Engine area is checked clear. Start switches, ground, ignition, both. Fuel pumps are on. Going to start, as we always do, we're going to start with the right engine, or engine number 2, then engine number 1. So starting engine number 2. Good start on engine number 2, starting engine number 1. And good start on both engines. Go ahead and shut off the APU. Starter switches are both off. Before taxi checklist. Nav lights on. Elevator trim. Set for takeoff. Flaps down to 5. And indicating 5. Taxi lights on. Pitot heat on. Going to go ahead and tune over to Unicom to announce our taxi. Transponders mode C. Radio and avionics are set. Autopilot is off. Heading indicator is on. Be heading out on a 092 heading on takeoff. Climbing to 5,000 and holding there till Acres. And then we'll continue on our way up to flight level 360 for the flight this afternoon. Pull up my Navigraph charts.
Miami traffic, American 887, turning a 15-mile final for 8 right, Miami.
And looks like we're going to taxi to 8 right via Papa. And go ahead and do our flight control check real quick. Full up. Elevator full forward. Aileron, right aileron. Spoilers. Left rudder, right rudder, everything checks out. Go ahead and announce our taxi intentions. Miami traffic Delta 1346 heavy at Concourse H, taxiing to 8 right via Papa, Miami traffic. And we are on our way. Gonna turn on my Air Source A cars.
American flight 36 logo lights on the way 8 right. Miami traffic American 887, 5 mile short final for 8 right, Miami.
Yeah, we've got traffic coming inbound on 8 right, so we'll hold short. And there's our arriving traffic. Right, before takeoff checklist, parking brake set, throttles idle, flight instruments checked, engine instruments are checked. Nav equipment check. We have our takeoff data. Landing lights on. Taxi lights off. Strobes on. PTOT heat on. De-ice not required. Auto throttle is armed.
2536 short final 5 miles 8 right. American 2536.
Before takeoff checklist is complete. Miami traffic, Delta 1346 heavy holding short of 8 right for arriving traffic, then we'll be departing out to the north. Miami traffic.
Miami traffic, American 887, clear of 8 right, vacated Mike 9.
And we're going to depart off of Mike 1 on 8 right, so we'll wait for this incoming traffic. He's on a 5-mile final. Looks like that's him right there. And I do not see any other traffic, so we'll hop on the runway right after he hits the ground.
Miami traffic, runway 8 right by KMIA American 2536.
Yeah, make sure the runway is clear. Yeah, it looks like we're clear. We'll go ahead and announce our intention for takeoff, and then we'll get rolling. Miami traffic, Delta 1346, departing off of runway 8 right at Lima 1, departure to the north, Miami traffic. All right, takeoff checklist, thrust up to 60. Stable, brakes off. And we are rolling. $80 knots check. V1 and rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear coming up. And good rate of climb through 1500 for 5,000. Flaps coming up. Going to go ahead and engage the LNAV. Sea Salt is our first waypoint, and it's left turns to Deals, and then heading further north. Go ahead and turn on the VNAV. Climb out checklist autopilot on, altitude set, check for 5,000 feet, airspeed set for 280 for the climb out. Heading indicators on, landing lights are on, will remain on until 10,000 feet. LNAV and VNAV is engaged. Climb out checklist is complete.
Lauderdale traffic, Spirit 29, traffic on the book left, runway 10 right, 8 mile final for Lauderdale.
And leveling off at 5,000 feet. And we will stay there until Agers. And we'll be basically flying up the eastern coast of Florida. And then we'll work our way inland.
Lauderdale traffic, Spirit 29, 2 mile final runway 10 right for Lauderdale.
It's that audio overload in the vPilot client again there. So 15 nautical miles to Agers, and then we'll continue our ascent up to flight level 360.
Fort Lauderdale traffic, Spirit 29 clear, runway 10 right, taxi to the ramp by Juliet Tango, Fort Lauderdale.
It's really weird to have an altitude restriction of 5,000 feet this north of Miami. But anyways, we are now climbing out of we're now out of that altitude restriction and starting our climb up to 360. Here's our look through Navigraph. Zoom out and you can see our whole route heading up north. Just passing to the west of Delray Beach and just south of Boynton Beach. And our look at the traffic on the VATSIM app. And there we are, just a little bit south of Palm Beach. Yeah, above 10,000 feet, landing lights are coming off. So in plane spotting news, we had an Antonov 124 come into Atlanta today. So wifey and I slept in and then got dressed, headed down to the airport. Didn't get very didn't really get a good shot because right now everything on the south side of the airport is backlit. And even though it's fall and it really wasn't very hot, we still had a lot of heat haze. But still got to see my second Antonov 124. And it's just staying overnight and leaving sometime in the morning. I'll drop the photo on my Instagram page probably tomorrow, and you'll find a link to my Instagram on the About page of the YouTube site. Passing through 15 for flight level 360. And passing through 17. All right, cruise checklist at flight level 180, altimeter set to standard. And that is done. Autopilot is on, checked, radios are checked, lights as required, instruments and fuel quantity are checked. Cruise checklist is complete. Not sure, but it looks like we might get Jacksonville Center online. passing through 250 for 360. And the reason that I said that Jacksonville Center looks like they might be coming online is Jacksonville Ground and ATIS are online. So sometimes when Jacksonville Airport comes up, Jacksonville Center usually follows fairly quickly. But we'll see about that. If not, we'll have a good flight anyway without ATC. And we're going to go ahead and shut off the nav and adjust our climb rate to compensate for our speed loss. As always, we don't want to bleed off too much speed on the ascent. So anyways, in retrospect, a few of my friends also went down to go catch that Antonov 124 this afternoon. They all went they went a little bit further south to get a more front-lit vantage point of the arrival. And I just chose to stay on the south deck. In retrospect, maybe I should have headed off with them. I don't know. It's hard. If wifey wasn't with me, it would have been a lot easier to wander around and do things. But when you have a disabled wife that you care for and take care of, you do have to put some limits on things that you do. So I'm going to adjust our altitude and stop our climb at 320. Let's gain some speed, and then we'll pop up to 36. gain some of the speed back, and we'll continue up to 360. Let's do this. Adjust our fuel a little bit. There we go. Now we're starting to pick some speed back up. I don't think Jacksonville Center is going to come online. I'm surprised, considering that they've got ground and ATIS on at Jacksonville Airport, but no sign of life elsewhere, which is odd. Traffic passing off to our right. American 229 heading down to Miami from Atlanta. So if you're just joining the live stream, this is Delta 1346 Heavy. Service from Miami to Detroit, Wayne Metro. We're a Boeing 767-300. And we're currently at flight level 340, getting a little bit of our speed back, and we'll continue up to 360. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, but I will be right back. All right, and we are back for a quick second. we'll go ahead and do the final step up to 360. And passing through 3.5 for 3.6. And leveling off at 360. So again, if you're just joining us, this is Delta 1346 Heavy. Service to Detroit from Miami. Boeing 767-300. And picking up a little bit of light chop. Well, hello. Frank, how have you been doing, sir? And where have you been? No worries, glad you're back. Hope everything is well. right, Jacksonville Center is coming online, 135.92. Go ahead and drop over to them here in just a second. Oh, holy cow, Frank. Frank says he was in the hospital in August because he needed a heart transplant, got it, and you feel amazing. That is absolutely an amazing thing to hear. And glad that you are doing well and that you are still with us. I'm going to drop over to Jacksonville real quick, announce.
I know you're just getting set up here, but we're at 8,000 right now for one left.
Ah, sweet. Are you flying right now or just taking it easy today?
Jackson, good evening. Delta 1264, descending daily dates, 1 arrival, passing available 277.
Ah, I hear ya.
Jackson, route 1693, with you 350.
We'll give Jacksonville Center a quick second before we announce here. Jacksonville Center, good evening. Delta 1346 Heavy with you, flight level 360.
Delta 1346, Jacksonville Center, squawk 7635.
7635, Delta 1346.
Center, route 1693, 350.
Cruise 6093, Jack Center, squawk 1022.
5 and I don't.
64, descending dates, 1 arrival, passing 16,000.
There were a couple aircraft calling you, blocked each other. Transmission standby. Delta 1346, your radar contact. Altitude change required up or down 1,000 feet. What is your preference?
I'll take down to 350.
Delta 1346, send and maintain level 35035.
Out of 36 for 35, Delta 1346. And we'll go over here. Go point,
good evening. It's Delta 8247 with you. Flight level 300, climbing 330.
Delta 8247, Jack Center, squawk 3144.
3144, Delta 8247.
Jack Center,
And that
aircraft
weird little glitch
1264,
again.
descending dates, 1 arrival, passing 14,000.
Aircat 1264, you're outside of my airspace. Monitor Unicom 122.8.
There we go.
Roger.
Jacksonville Center, Delta 2086 is with you on the Mighty 4 arrival for runway 01 for Tampa at 7,000.
Delta 2086, that's under Tampa approach, which is Miami Center airspace. You can monitor advisory today.
Okay, go to advisory for 28.
Delta 8247, your radar contact for your final altitude due to westbound 32 or 34. What's your preference?
I'll say 34, Delta 8247.
Delta 8247, Roger, climb maintain level 340.
340, Delta 8247.
Still haven't been able to figure out that little glitch in the Smith FMS that causes your
91 Jack Center,
flight
squawk
level to change from what you
6350.
have in there when you
6350 on the
do a
bus.
change like that.
I had an aircraft checking in earlier at 380. What's the call sign?
All right. Now we're level at 350.
You got an 891, your radar contact 34 miles southwest of Charlotte.
Hello, United from the 79, flight level 34.
379 Jack Center, squawk 3703.
3703.
United 379 radar contact 30 miles east of Charlotte. Delta 8247, clear direct Primus, Papa Romeo Mike Uniform Sierra.
Strike Primus, Delta 8247.
United 891, clear direct Leopard.
What was that direct again, United 891?
United 891, clear direct Leopard.
Alright, direct Leopard, United 891.
Thanks, Frank. Hopefully the landing goes well for me as well. I am glad to hear from you. Glad you're doing good. And stop back by when you're feeling up to it and come say hi. Good to see you, my friend. Definitely getting some light chop up here at 350.
Jacksonville Center, Southwest 1773, passing 200 via the Luna 3 arrival for Orlando.
Delta 1773 Jack Center, squawk 5631.
5631, Southwest 1773.
South 1773, radar contact 6 miles northeast of Orlando International Airport. Descend via the Alina 3 arrival. Landing south for Orlando altimeter 2906. You can expect the ILS 17 left approach.
Sent via the Alina 3 arrival, Orlando land south, and Willis is at the, you said ILS or visual 17 left?
Expect ILS 17 left approach.
Expect ILS 17 left approach to Southwest 1773 Benjamin.
Southwest 1773 ATIS Hotel will start at Orlando. Let me know when you get the ATIS.
And center, Delta 1346 will be off the flight deck for 5. We'll notify when back.
Delta 1346, that's approved. Just something on your back.
Wilco, Delta 1346. All right, we're going to take a quick break here for a quick second. Check on the wifey, and I'll be right back again, guys.
United 379, clear direct Leopard.
Direct Leopard for 379.
Virgin 130 Charlie, Jack. Southwest 1773 after Banya, proceed direct, correction, my apologies. After Banya, you can proceed direct Phoenix and expect the ILS 17 left.
After Banya, proceed direct Phoenix and for ILS 17 left, Southwest 1773.
Southwest 1773, maintain 7,000.
Maintain 7,000 and Southwest 1773.
United 379, radar contact loss.
His game crashed.
Is it?
All right, we are back. And center, Delta 1346 is back up on the flight deck.
Delta 1346, Charlie.
Jackson Center, Frontier 390 with you on the rights to arrival, descending down to 15,000.
Frontier Flight 390, Jack, center, squawk 1030.
All right, Frontier 390, squawk 1030.
Oh, where's he at?
Frontier Flight 390, radar contact 6 miles southeast of Orlando International Airport. Descend via the rides to arrival, landing south, for landing altimeter 29096.
I will descend with the right to arrival, and we're landing south. And we have the altimeter Frontier 396.
So if you're just joining the live stream,
1346, clear direct QE.
direct QE Delta 1346.
Frontier Flight 390, what airside are you parking at this evening?
Airside 1 for Frontier 390.
Frontier Flight 390, expect ILS 18 right approach, information hotel is current.
We have hotel, we'll expect 18 left for the ILS. Frontier 390.
Expect the ILS 18 right approach, 18 right.
18 right, Frontier 390.
Southwest 1773, proceed direct phoning, descend to maintain 5,000.
Direct Boeing down to 5,000, Southwest 1773.
All right, we are direct QE. A little bit of a shortcut for us, and that's always appreciated in the flight sim world. The Charlotte approach just came online, so maybe we'll see Atlanta Center drop on. But again, if you're just joining the live stream, welcome. This is Delta 1346 Heavy 767 service to Detroit from Miami. Amended flight level of 350.
Rear 1635 Jacksonville Center, good evening, runway 17 right, taxi via Echo, Hotel, Hotel 1.
Echo, Hotel, Hotel 1. Oh, got it. 7.
Southwest 1773 or 10 miles from Phoenix, cross Phoenix, get above 3,000. Cleared ILS 17 left approach.
Cross Boeing got her above 3,000, cleared ILS 17 left approach, Southwest 1773.
So while we are at it, go ahead and look at our arrival. So we're finding the Click 3 RNAV arrival, and go ahead and pull that up in Navigraph, and our first altitude and speed restriction is going to be at EZ, and that's going to be 280, and between flight level 270 and 240, we'll just go ahead and go 240. So 280 and 240, and then Hummer at 17,000, and then Bonds is 260 above 12,000. And then we have Clink between 10 and 9, and we'll just go with 9. And then at Border,
Rear 1675, it appears you took a left turn on taxiway Gulf, no worries. Continue northbound via Gulf.
210
Hotel 1, hold short of 17 right.
6.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, I just lost charge. If I can put over my hotel 3, hotel 1.
Rouge 1675, roger. Turn right at Hotel 3, join Hotel northbound.
Thank you. Right on Hotel 3, Hotel 1, road 1675.
And that will do it for the approach, and then for final, we have CATS, which is mandatory
Southwest 1773, Orlando wind 0708, runway 17 left, clear to land.
17 left, clear to land, Southwest
CATS at
1773.
210, Eldon at 8. See, sometimes the arrival and your chart sometimes does not jive up. Let's look at the arrival.
Rouge 1675, RNAV to Cape, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff.
So border, they have you at 6. Let's see if the yeah, it's weird. Border, they have you at 6,000, but CATS says it's mandatory 9,000 and then 210 knots. So the way that this is all laid out, that just doesn't make sense. So I'll just stay with CATS at 6, Eldon at I'll just keep everything at 6,000 to literally HIMAX. HIMAX is 5. And then EVA B is 4. And then Jelly is Jelly is 3. And then E-tail is 2,000. And then the localizer frequency is 110.7.
Rouge 1675, Orlando departure, radar contact, maintain 7,000.
Maintain 7,000.
Okay, 110.7 is set. Okay, so we've got all the waypoints set for the arrival.
Rouge 1675, turn left heading 090, vectors for your climb. That's 090, vectors with climb.
It's weird that the approach would have
Delta
you.
1351, Jacksonville.
It's weird that the arrival chart would have you at a certain altitude, but the approach chart for the runway has you at a higher altitude than what you should be if you were following the arrival chart.
Southwest 1773, open to Orlando. Turn right on Foxtrot.
Normally you'd have air traffic control telling you what to do anyways,
So right on
so
Fox, we'll show 17 right, Southwest 1773.
so I suppose it's kind of a moot point. When you're flying without air traffic control, just use, discretion is the better part of valor, I suppose.
Southwest 1597, what's your Papa 370?
South 1597, Jack Center, squawk 1660.
1660, Southwest 1597.
Rouge 1675, fly heading 040. 040, 475. Southwest 1773, cross for my 17 right on Foxtrot. Turn right on Gulf and taxi to airside 2.
Good evening, Jackson.
Delta 1351, Jacksonville Center, squawk 6072. Rouge 1675, proceed direct Buffy. Direct Buffy, Rouge 1675. Delta 1351, Jacksonville Center, squawk 6072.
6072, Delta 1351.
Southwest 1597, radar contact 23 miles southeast of Montgomery. Delta 8247, Miami Center closed, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, good night.
On over Unicom, thank you for the ATC, that's 8247.
Frontier Flight 390, descend and maintain 4000. Delta 1351, your radar contact 57 miles northwest of the Valdosta, VOR Oscar Tango Kilo. Maintain flight level 340, I just wanted to verify the squawk code is 6072.
Delta 1351, we are squawking flight level, we're squawking squawk 6072, and we will maintain flight level 340.
Delta 1351, you are radar contact, and I do have an amendment to your route of flight to Melbourne when you're ready to copy.
Delta 1351, I'm ready to copy.
Delta 1351 now cleared to Melbourne Airport via present position direct Oscar Mike November and the BITHO 7 arrival. Maintain flight level 340. Direct Oscar Mike November and the BITHO 7 arrival.
We'll on the Oscar Mike November, and we're going to be on the official arrival and maintain flight level 340.
That's Oscar Mike November and the BITHO 7.
Jackson, thank you.
Soup 639, Jack Center, squawk 1031.
Sounds like a new pilot.
Frontier Flight 390, turn left heading 270. Rouge 1675, climb and maintain level 230. Flight level 230, 275. Swoop 639, your radar contact 600 miles southwest of the St. Pete, VOR. Southwest 1597, clear direct Elite.
Not much traffic going into Detroit, just it's like 1 departure and 3 arrivals currently. It's like 1 departure.
1351, 1 able, clear direct Oscar, Mike, November, and for now to set and maintain flight level 310.
I'm going to be directing Oscar Mike November down to 310, that's for 1051.
Frontier flight 390 to set and maintain 3000.
Down to 3000.
Jacksonville, Center, good night, Southwest 3781, climbing due to 6535.
Southwest 3781, Jack Center, squawk 3532.
Two in the box, Southwest 3781.
Frontier flight 390, turn left heading 210 and it's up to 18 right, localizer.
210 for the heading and what's up to 18 right, localizer.
It's like a lot of air traffic heading into Jackson Hole, Wyoming. They have a little mini event going on.
Jackson Center.
Good.
Do we have permission to step away for 5 minutes?
Delta 1351, that's approved. Just something on your back.
Copy.
Southwest 3781, radar contact 25 miles west at Colliers, Indy Romeo, Quebec. Climb maintain flight level 330. 33 will be your final.
230 final, Southwest 3781.
Frontier flight 390 or 4 miles from Hammy, cross Hammy at above 3000, cleared ILS, 18 right approach.
No cross Hammy at 3000 or above, and no clear ILS.
Rouge 1675, climb maintain flight level 290.
Flight level 290.
And we'll probably get passed off over to Unicom here pretty soon. Atlanta Center is offline at the moment. Indy Center was on a little while ago, but they're now offline, and nothing from Cleveland Center, so...
Frontier flight 390, 1070 at 8, runway 18 right, clear line. United 891, clear X4U to set and maintain flight level 300.
Alright, direct to 4U down to 300, United 891.
Rouge 1675, climb maintain flight level 370. Delta 1346, Atlanta Center closed. Radar service terminated. Change to advisory approved. Good day.
Heading over to Unicom. Appreciate the services tonight, Delta 1346. See ya.
Good night.
All right, we're dropped over to the dreaded Unicom. Going to take another break here in a second, fix myself a cup of coffee. I have one of those electric water kettles that are famous in Europe. And I tell you, that is one of the best things since God made white bread, to have one of those electric kettles, because it literally will heat water up within like 90 seconds and it's boiling and it's good to go. It's just insane. So I wonder if I do this. Yeah, it'll do that. And then it just self-corrects itself, which is just really weird. I mean, I hate to have to do that to get the legs in there correctly, but all right, so let's go, before I go take a break, let's go back and look at let's look at the arrival chart. Okay, so from Bonds, on track of 319, cross clink between 9,000 and 10,000 feet, then on track 281 degrees to cross border at 6,000 and 210 knots, then a 281 track, and expect radar vectors to your final approach course. So when you go here, so we're coming in from the south, so we have JAMOX, Bobcat, SED, and then we've got EASY, which is our first restriction, 280 knots in between 270 and 240. So we'll pick the low. I personally like to pick the lower of the number, so 240. Hummer at 17,000. Bonds at 260 and 12. Okay, crossing clink at between 10 and 9. And then border at 210 knots and 6,000 feet. And then here's the airport right here. Okay, so when we go over here to the ILS, it has CATS, mandatory, 9,000 and 210 knots. And CATS is the next waypoint after border, which just does not make sense to me. So then CATS, and then Eldon, and then Bang, and then Julep, Sulep, Hymex, and so on and so forth. So even though it's Bang at 8, And it doesn't really give you any other instruction other than that, so that's something that's probably maybe worth posting to AVSIM or something and ask why would that be set up that way when you really can't fly it that way? Doesn't make that much sense, but yeah, the nice thing about vPilot is you can send messages across to the other pilots that are on Unicom. So, for example, there we go. So if we're looking at vPilot, we got Jacksonville Center was pushing messages across to other pilots there for a moment. And then November 425 Gulf Juliet said somebody's got an open mic, but didn't say who. Of course, that would be hard to tell. And then American 2245 reporting moderate turbulence at 350. 32 nautical miles east of the Nashville VOR, and he's in an A321. And he's heading over to Charlotte, so all right, 223 nautical miles from Hotel November VOR. And we've got some traffic below us as we pass by the Charlotte area. Got a CRJ 900 passing just below and behind us. Got a Southwest out ahead. Just left Asheville, and he is climbing. He's heading up to DC. Traffic no factor on either one of those. So with that, I'm going to step off the flight deck, make me some coffee. I should be back in just a couple minutes, and in the meantime, enjoy this view outside the cockpit of our Boeing 767-300 aircraft.
Delta 456. I'm American 1772. Affirm.
All right, we are back up on the flight deck of Delta 1346 Heavy. Got some fresh coffee in hand. So if you're just joining the live stream, welcome. This is Delta 1346 Heavy service to Detroit Wayne Metropolitan Airport from Miami. It's a Boeing 767-332ER for Delta Airlines. Currently at flight level 350. 285 knots indicated, 461 on the ground. On a 360 heading to the Hotel November VOR. On a beautiful Sunday afternoon for flying. So I finally updated the September subscriber goal, so it is accurate at 279 subscribers. Looking for a goal of 300 by the end of September, so we have a little less than 2 weeks to hit our goal. If not, we will reset for another goal for October.
Yeah, good.
Things have been a little bit crazy around the household here the past week or so. Both the wife and I managed to get a very, very bad head and chest cold. I'm pretty much over it with the exception of some head congestion, and I had to take wifey to the doctors to get something to kind of open her lungs up because she can't get the crud out. But she's doing a lot better today than she has been the last couple days. So I think we're finally over that hurdle and she's finally getting on the mend. So we're grateful for that. And as a result, I am behind on my third video of my Back to the Basics of FSX series. So hopefully I will find some time to work on that this week, but I've got a lot of other things on my plate that I'm dealing with as well. So bear with me. As things are a little bit crazy around here, so. But we still managed to get out and have a little bit of fun. Went and saw two of our nephews' t-ball games yesterday afternoon. Our oldest nephew, Easton, had a ball game, and then our other nephew, Carson, had a ball game a couple of hours later. So we spent the day down at one of the local parks here in Gwinnett County. And most of everybody on wifey's side of the family showed up. And it was good to go hang out with them and see all the other nieces and nephews. And then we, as I mentioned at the beginning of the live stream, we went over to my brother and sister-in-law's house and watched Georgia wallop the University of Alabama, Birmingham. So that was a good game, and had some good food, watched a good game, and then this morning we got up and got a text message from one of my best friends who's a plane spotter. And it's like, Mikey, there's an Antonov 124 coming in, and it's coming in late. It was supposed to have been in at 10 o'clock this morning, and luckily for me, since wifey and I slept in till about 11:30 this morning, it didn't come in until nearly 2:30 this afternoon. So it's like, do I want to attempt to go get it, or do we want to just relax and take it easy today? And it's like, well, why not do both? Relax and take it easy when we get home from catching the Antonov. So we got up, had breakfast, got dressed, headed on down to Hart Maynard, which is our nickname for Hartsfield Jack and Atlanta International, and waited around for an Antonov to come in. My pictures turned out lousy because all of the major cargo carriers, with the exception of FedEx and UPS, land on the south side of the airport, and this time of year, south side is incredibly backlit. There's a small period of time from July to about the end of August, where it's still slightly backlit, but not as bad. So you can usually get some good shots from the South Daily parking deck at Hart Maynard. Anything after that, everything is incredibly backlit. And even though it's technically fall, I think it still got to around 80, which was beautiful weather, by the way, but incredibly heat hazed for anything across the airport. So when the Antonov came in, it was definitely a nice sight to see, but it was backlit and pretty heat hazed. So it's not anything that I'm going to attempt to put on jet photos, but I'll probably post it up on Instagram over the next day or two, and you can go check it out. Although my other friends got much better photos because they found locations where they were able to look north and get it not backlit or heat hazed. So there's that. But it was good to get out for a little while today and do some spotting, and then back home in time to fix some dinner for the wife and I, and then do you a Sunday evening live stream. So here we are doing that. Alright, just crossed into Indianapolis Center's airspace. Unfortunately, they are offline. And about another 220 miles, we'll be starting our top of descent into the Detroit area on that weird, wacky setup of the Clink 3 RNAV arrival. And we're expecting runway 4 right, the ILS runway 4 right. Somewhere we're supposed to be able to toggle the weather and see what the weather is looking like. So there's no weather en route, but looking at the Navgraph chart weather, you can see some clouds pushing in from the west. And as with most things up in Michigan, things are going to move west to east. But let's go ahead and let's check the weather up in Detroit. Okay, current weather in Detroit. Winds are 080 at 11, gusting to 19. Visibility is 10 miles. Temperature 20 degrees Celsius, dew point 14. Overcast at 4,900 feet, scattered at 2,400. Altimeter is 3009. Weather should be calming down a little bit in the next hour or so. Winds at 050 at 6, no gusts, broken at 5,000. But the visibility is going to drop a little bit. And weather is favoring 4 right for the arrival, so we're set up and planning for 4 right. And we'll keep an eye on that weather as we get closer to the Detroit airport. All right, and with about 160 miles before top of descent, I'm going to go ahead and take one last little break off of the flight deck. Check on the wife and make sure she's doing okay, and I'll be back and we will finish off the live stream as we arrive into the Detroit metropolitan area. So with that, stand by. I'll be back in just a little less than 5 minutes. right, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we have returned. And we'll try to stay with you through the rest of the live stream as we get ready to start our descent into the Detroit metropolitan area. I feel really bad. I was checking on the wife and knocked a whole glass of water over on her. Not intentionally. I was attending to something else and was moving a chair, and the chair hit the little end table that my wife had a glass of water on, and I literally dumped it right in her lap. So that wasn't good. But she'll be heading off to bed pretty soon, so got her as dried off as I could and then go from there. So it looks like Memphis Center came online while we were out. Indianapolis Center was on earlier. Cleveland Center, I just don't, I don't know about Cleveland Center. They're very rarely online. I do not ever really see them online. I think in all the time that I've been doing flights on VATSIM, and I literally, every flight now that I fly, and for the last 9-10 months now, or when I really started seriously doing it on the YouTube channel, I think I've only seen Cleveland Center online twice. And that's it. So, I don't know. About 95 miles from top of descent. So we'll double check our weather. In Detroit. And no updates. Winds are still 080 at 11 knots. Gusting to 19. Dew point 20. Excuse me, temperature 20 Celsius, dew point 14. Overcast at 4900, scattered at 24. Be doing the ILS runway 4 right approach. So the weather's going to be overcast when we get into the Detroit area, so And we'll be up in Cleveland Center's airspace momentarily. Quick shout out to subscriber Frank US Daddy, who is home from the hospital after having a heart transplant back in August, and looks like he's back home and relaxing. He's a fellow VATSIM pilot and one of my channel subscribers, and he dropped in a little while ago to say hello and let me know what was going on. Glad that he is doing well and that he is on the mend. And we'll check the weather one last time before we start our top of descent, and that's coming up in about 30 nautical miles or so. So one of the things that I've been practicing this past week is using a virtual cockpit panel, and the 737-800 does have a virtual cockpit. Unfortunately, I don't have a virtual cockpit for any of my other aircraft other than the ones that use the same panel as the 737. I think. I don't know. This is the cockpit panel that I'm using is really just a generic one. It's not aircraft specific. Although, in an effort to try to make things a little bit more realistic in the future, I want to look into locating more authentic 2D and 3D virtual cockpits for my aircraft. So while I've been practicing around in the 737-800, it's hard to get the eye point correct. So it's, and I'll kind of demonstrate here. So I can use my plus and minus sign to change my viewpoint. I can zoom out and you can see more of the curvature of the Earth. I can zoom in to basically what would be the normal view, and it looks a little bit more realistic. But when you get into the virtual cockpit, I want this same eye point, and so there's settings for both your eye point and the cockpit itself, so you can zoom in and out on the cockpit itself, or you can zoom in and out on your eye point and just trying to find one that just kind of looks realistic. Is a bit of a challenge, I guess. So we'll see how it goes over the coming weeks, and I'm going to continue practicing my takeoffs and landings in the virtual cockpit, and then hopefully at some point I'll be flying just in a virtual cockpit. So, all right, one last look at our ATIS weather and airport information as we are getting very close to our top of descent now. See if anything has changed in Detroit. And looks like things are still the same. Winds are 080 at 11, gusting to 19, 10 miles visibility, dew point 20, excuse me, temperature 20 Celsius, dew point 14, overcast at 4,900, scattered at 2,400, altimeter is 3009 as we start our descent into the Detroit metropolitan area. And looking out the forward cockpit windscreen, you can see Lake Erie out ahead of us. So, top of descent checklist. ATIS information, airport and weather checked. Altimeter checked, 3009. Radios and navigation are checked. Fuel quantity checked. Anti-ice and descent speed as required. Top of descent checklist is complete. So we're out of flight level 350 for our first speed and altitude restriction, which is going to be easy, which we need to cross at flight level 240. Yeah, it looks like we have one arrival coming into Detroit, and that is Delta 2363, and that's a Mad Dog. And looks like he'll be on the ground well before we are. And no other traffic arriving. Other than that. And we'll have some other traffic in the area as we make our approach, so, but they should be no factor. We'll be well below them by the time we get into the area. And looks like there's our overcast weather out ahead. And leveling off at 24,000, and then we'll be heading down to 17 here momentarily. Excuse me. And out of 24 for 17. Pull Navigraph back up so you can see our approach into Detroit. So you can see us down there at the bottom right hand corner, and we're tracking up to the northwest, and then we'll hit Clink and we'll be heading east, and then when we hit Border and Cats, we're going to be heading, it's going to be a sweeping right hand turn, well, left hand turn, and then a right-hand turn to final. So that's our view of the descent in Navigraph. Yeah, we'll be out over Lake Erie here in just a moment. And we're out over the lake. And Bonds is going to be a 260 indicated airspeed and 12,000 altitude restriction. So we're down below 18,000, so we'll go ahead and set the altimeter to 3006. And we'll update the altimeter as we get closer to Detroit. So a while back on most of my aircraft config files, I had to adjust the parasitic drag so that during a descent, the speeds are more appropriate for the descent. So like in my Airbus A220 flying into Seattle a couple of months back, I was descending into Seattle and kept exceeding 300 knots. So I had to go in and adjust the parasitic drag so that during descent, as you're slowing down, the aircraft slows down. So when you tell it that you want to descend at 260 knots or somewhere around in that neighborhood, then the aircraft will do so and not be a runaway train, so to speak. Okay, approach checklist. Seatbelt, no smoking signs are still on. Go ahead and start our APU, get the APU generator online. Avionics and radios are set. We have 11070 for the ILS localizer 9 right. Speeds are at our discretion. Landing lights will come on below 10,000. Spoilers are armed. Flaps as needed. And approach checklist is complete. And looks like our other traffic coming into Detroit is just coming in, showing up on the TCAS. And he's below us by 3,000 feet. And starting down to 9 from 13. And here's that overcast that we were talking about earlier. And passing through 10,000 feet, landing lights on. Alright, looks like Delta 2363, our Mad Dog, is at 8,000 feet and he's turning now for final. Don't know what runway he's taking, but looks like he will hit the ground before us. And we're going to go ahead and go flaps 5. And flaps 5 indicated. And if you're just joining the live stream, hello once again. This is Delta 1346 service from Miami to Detroit Wayne Metropolitan Airport. We are on approach into Detroit Metro. Weather's a little bit on the overcast side, but we should be breaking through it below 5,000 feet, hopefully. And I think to save us some time, I'm just going to go direct CATS. That'll make things a little bit easier for us. There's no other air traffic in the way. We do not have ATC, so pilot's discretion. And out of 7,000 for 5. Detroit Metro traffic, Delta 1346 heavy, downwind, runway 4 right approach, Detroit Metro traffic.
Detroit Metro traffic, Delta 2363 on short final to runway 04 right, Detroit traffic.
It's amazing when you start talking that other people will start talking, because technically you're supposed to be announcing your intentions even on Unicom. All right, 5,000 feet. Another notch of flaps coming in. Start our base turn here pretty soon, and we're just right there on the fringe of the tops of the clouds here, right at 5. Detroit Metro traffic, Delta 1346 heavy, right base turn, runway 4 right, Detroit Metro traffic. A little yuck with the weather, but that's okay.
Detroit traffic, Delta 2363 vacated the runway, taxiing to terminal.
And hopefully we should get the glide slope and localizer popping up here shortly. We'll go ahead and arm the approach. And I've got the localizer, not in range of the glide slope yet. And we've got the glide slope captured. I'm going to go ahead and arm the approach. And do not have the airport in sight as of yet. Still no sign of the airport yet. Yeah, 11070, we do have that in here. Just starting to get the airport in sight, but just barely. And glide slope is alive. And I've got the airport. Detroit Metro traffic, Delta 1346, 10-mile final, runway 4 right. Established, Detroit Metro traffic. And localizer's captured, glide slope is captured, we're coming down. Hello, wifey. You're just in time for the landing into Detroit. Wifey has joined the chat. Thank you, my love. Alright, gears coming down. Landing checklist. Landing gear down. We've got 3 green. Flap set. Landing speed established. Autopilot and auto throttle as required. Landing checklist is complete. Flaps 25, indicating 25. Detroit Metro traffic, Delta 1346 heavy, 5-mile final, runway 04 right, Detroit Metro traffic. And autopilot's coming off.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Detroit Metro traffic, Delta 1346 short, final runway 04 right, Detroit Metro traffic. And we are on the ground. Thrust reversers engaged. $60 knots. And we'll jump off here at Victor. Detroit Metro traffic, Delta 1346 heavy, clear of runway 04 right at Victor, taxiing to the gate via Yankee. And we'll hold short here of 27 right and clean up the airplane. All right, we'll stop here for just a quick moment. Parking brake set. Okay, after landing, taxi to gate checklist. Strobes off, taxi lights on, landing lights off, spoilers are down, flaps coming up. After landing and taxi to gate checklist is complete. And we'll go ahead and continue our taxi to the gate. Landing lights on while we cross the active runway. And landing lights coming back off. Welcome to Detroit Metropolitan Airport. Flight simulator time is 15:58 p.m. Very nice landing into Detroit despite the overcast weather, and it did break right at 5,000 feet per the METAR. And we will make a left turn here on, I believe this is Romeo coming up, and then head over to the McNamara terminal. That is taxiway Romeo. Actually, no, that is... Yeah, we want to go up just a little bit further. Okay, Kilo and November 2. Okay, so that's Kilo. I think we want to come over. I think we want to come in here on Kilo 3 and then cut around. there's McNamara right up ahead. And apologies for the long taxi to the gate. Okay, so this should be Juliet. And then Juliet takes us over to McNamara. There we go. And then we pick up Uniform 9. And that brings us over to the gate. And parking brake set. And we're at the gate. Shutdown checklist. Parking brake set. Throttle idle. Engines to cut off. Taxi lights off. Nav lights off. Beacon lights off. PTOD. Anti-ice. Flight director off. Auto throttle off. Wait for ground power, and we will disconnect the APU. Hydraulics off. Fasten no smoking. Lights are off. And we're on ground power. Go ahead and disconnect the APU, and we are at the gate. And I need to get GSX back up and running so I can have gates at my airports. We're still working on that, folks, by the way. And that is going to do it for the Sunday night live stream, everybody. This was Delta 1346 Heavy 767-300 service from Miami to Detroit Wayne Metro Airport, which is my secondary home airport next to Atlanta. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Going to be a little hectic around the house for this upcoming week. Got a few things going on with some appointments for myself and for my Equinox. Needs to go into the shop. And I will try to work on my third video in my FSX series this week, and I promise that I will do my best to get it up and online, and I do apologize for the delays. Can't help when you get sick and you can't really talk or do anything. So anyways, if you like this live stream and if you like any of my videos, please support the channel by subscribing. Give the videos a huge thumbs up by hitting or smashing that like button. Just don't break your computer doing it. subscribe to the channel and support us. Share the videos and hop onto the live stream like my wife and Frank did and join me for part of the trip down, or leave a comment in the comment section. And check out my Instagram feed. The link is in the About page. I'll also link it here in the live stream notes. And check out the Discord channel. We can use a few more people over there chatting it up. So, again, this is Michael with the Sky's Limit Aviation channel, wishing you a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a great week coming up, and we will see you in the next video. So long. Bye-bye for now.